the title will change to 2024, 2025. That's what the title. Have we paid attention to the contents of the two? Honorable Mo has rightly pointed out, between 80 to 85% of what is in the 2020 CRC draft is in this 2025 draft. If we have changed anything, it's not up to 15% of the CRC draft. And Honorable Minority 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏𝒆𝒍 said the dialogue that started here and culminated into the political dialogue in Abuja identified 16 issues. And I see sometimes some of you confusing between issues and the number of changes. To be able to change 16 issues in the document may cause more amendments, because 16 issues and 16 amendments are two different things. I'm not saying that Cabinet did not change above what was agreed. We did. And I have to make that clear. And he's right. They identified 16 issues, and the reports are available. These reports were put together plus other reports which were provided. We have looked at beyond that. But the 16 issues, even if we are only incorporate the 16 issues, it was not only limited to 16 amendments. This is important. We need to understand between issues and amendments. Now, for those of you who are saying 190 something changes have occurred, I don't know who did your statistics for you. But the only way we can give it the benefit of the doubt is ascertain whether it was 10 amendments, 20 amendments, or 100 amendments, or 200 amendments. You have an opportunity of subjecting it to your own scrutiny, because now I am saying something, somebody else is saying something different, but the bill is before you. If you take it into consideration, then you have every opportunity now to confirm whether what you have been told has been changed actually was changed. So I think all these opportunities are there, because some of us, having listened, it looks like we are repeating what we heard other people say. We have not verified these things by ourselves. So there was, I wouldn't belabor the issue of consultation, that is laid to rest. It's confirmed beyond doubt. It's confirmed that the political leadership of this country, except for very few, majority of them had agreed. So you will see that, taking a cue from the outcome of that dialogue itself, it means that the political class of this country actually among themselves agreed that even the 2020 draft itself wasn't good enough. Because if it were a perfect document, how come 16 substantive issues were identified to be changed? So, and then I guarantee you, even if we agree unanimously about the constitution here, we pass it here, 1-2 years down the line, we will see the need to change 1 or 2 things in it, because the document will never be perfect. So it's not, like I said in the opening, we are not seeking perfection. We are not seeking a perfect document. We are only looking for a consensus that will help us move to another level. I also need to make a clarification. A lot of descriptions have been used to describe this 2024 draft. Barrow's document, Dowda's document, cabinet document. And I had somebody make a comparison between the changes that were done by the work done by CRC in 1996 and the CRC of 2018-2019 work. I think it's important we do this clarification. When CRC was created in 1995-96, there was no parliament. When they did their draft, they submitted it to a military ruling council. There was no parliament to debate a draft like we are debating today. At the time, that draft went straight to referendum. It never went through parliamentary process. From the military council, it went to referendum straight. We never had an opportunity to debate it because there was not a democratic dispensation that gave us a second opportunity to look at what work the then CRC did. We now have the opportunity CRC did a job, they submitted it to cabinet. But also we need to see the distinction between the time, the cabinet at the time and the cabinet now. The cabinet at the time were not enjoying a democratic mandate. They were not elected. They overthrew a government and sat by force. The cabinet today, yes, we ministers may be appointed, but we are serving under an elected mandate. So it's completely different. That president that sits there under whom we are serving has a joint legislative authority with you. That's why when you pass bills, they don't become law until he signs it. So you have a core responsibility with the presidency in legislation in this country. And if you pass a bill that you send to him with all your authority, if he doesn't like certain clauses in that bill, he can make it comments and send it back to you for you to change it. Of course, you have a choice to either incorporate or not. But the principal position I'm trying to put across here is law-making responsibility is vested both in you and the president, because you are both elected. So if the president sits with his team to make changes, it's not a change that you can call arbitrary. It is not arbitrary. There is some authority there, recognized by law, in the whole process of legislative making process. So, I'm not too sure how much more can I say, but it is a calling on all of us, and it's a huge responsibility. Now, I had somebody question when I said in my opening statement that this goes beyond partisan lines. I do not intend to downplay the role of political parties in a democracy. But really, to build consensus, sometimes we go beyond party lines. Otherwise, we will never be able to reach consensus, because parties are divided. There is one ruling, there is one in the opposition, and others different lines. Their policies hardly see each other because they differ in their views. That's why they have different political organizations. Now, if you want these people with different policy positions, different ideologies to come together, that means sometimes they have to go beyond partisan lines. That's what we intend when we say we go beyond partisan politics, not necessarily downplaying the role of political parties in a democracy. So that's never my intention, if that had caused any misunderstanding. Like I said at the beginning, I'm here, of course I have a job to do. I am minister that have to bring the bill. But I'm equally very concerned, like every one of you also, we are all Gambians. The delivery of a constitution, no matter what type of constitution, is very symbolic for our transitional justice. And of course, all of you know, I have the task of overseeing the implementation of the TJ process as well. We've been acclaimed globally for doing very well in our transitional justice process. However, our transitional justice process will not reach its logical conclusion without us deliberately drawing a line between the past and the present. And that line is the change of the Constitution, even if it is going to be for symbolic purpose. It is very, very important that we usher this country into a third republic. However, the divergence still continue to exist. That's why we have a democracy. I, once again, Honorable Speaker, thank all the members. And what is expected of me here is to respect the debate that transpired. And on that note, Honorable Speaker, I allow the process to proceed to the next step. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Attorney General. Honorable members, we have almost come to the end of the debate. Honorable members, I just want us to remind ourselves about a few things that we are talking about draft constitution. And by the 1997 Constitution, Section 2262B and 2264B requires that 75%, 3/4 of members must agree before it is passed. Furthermore, honorable members, it requires that before we can put a vote, we have at least 3/4 of the members in the assembly. We have 3/4. I'm not saying people are standing. I said we have 3/4 of the entire membership in the assembly. So first, before I put the question, the table office will confirm that we have at least 44 members in the chambers. 1. 2, and this time when I put the question, you know, we must this time not only saying those in favor aye or no. When you say aye, you raise your tag. We are going to count every member, because this time we must have the numbers. There is no need for anybody to remind us that. So these are the few announcements. 1, now we will allow the table office to confirm that we have at least 44 members in the assembly. Honorable members, a surprise package. I'm just told that we have 56, including myself, 57. Only one person is absent. So, honorable members, as I said, I now put the question. It has been moved and seconded that the bill entitled the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia Promulgation Bill 2024 be read a second time. Those in favor, please say aye and raise your tags for counting. And then raise your tags. Raise your tags up well so that they can see you. Take one side. By yourself. Honorable members, those not in favor, say no. Please raise your tax up for them to proceed. Attention! Attention! Please raise your tax.
finally passed. Finally
Honorable members,
but it's been sent to the Atlantic Ocean.
This assembly,
Finally sent to the Atlantic Ocean.
Honorable member for Janjanbureh, please. Honorable members, this assembly has today concluded the second reading debate on the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia Promulgation Bill 2024, a bill of national significance which seeks to repeal and replace the 1997 Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia with a new Republican Constitution. Following the conclusion of the debate on the general merits and principles of the bill, the Assembly proceeded to a division in accordance with paragraphs 2B and 4B of Section 226 of the 1997 Constitution, which states that a bill for the alteration of this Constitution or for the promulgation of a new Constitution shall not be passed by the National Assembly unless it is supported on the second and third readings by the votes of not less than 3/4 of all the members of the National Assembly. Unquote. In other words, no less than 75% of all members of the Assembly are required to vote in favor. In numerical terms, 75% of all the 58 members of the Assembly means that no less than 44 favorable votes are required for the bill to proceed to the next stage of the legislative process. Therefore, pursuant to the division votes conducted and verified by the table office, the votes cast on the motion for the bill to be read a second time are recorded as follows. Total number of votes cast, 56. Those in favor, 35.
Wow.
Those not in favor, 21. Abstentions, 0. Honorable members, having carefully examined the result of the division and acting in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution and the standing orders, I am compelled to rule that the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia Promulgation Bill 2024 has not met the constitutional threshold required for passage at this stage, that is the second stage. The bill is therefore negative at this stage and shall not proceed further. This ruling is final and is issued with due respect to the procedures governing this constitutional process. While the outcome may be met with disappointment in some quarters, it reflects the principle that constitutional reform in a democratic society must be anchored in broad consensus. Honorable members, the tabling and debate of this bill has reignited crucial national discourse on the future of constitutional governance in the Gambia. The deliberations within this chamber have been rigorous and reflective of the diverse political, social, and legal perspectives that shape our national fabric. As presiding officer, I commend all members for their participation and the dignity with which proceedings were conducted. I also thank the Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice for ably tabling the motion. The failure of this bill at this stage does not signify the end of constitutional reform. Rather, it marks a critical moment for reflection, consultation, and renewed engagement with all sectors of Gambian society, including political actors, civil society, traditional authorities and the citizens. I encourage all parties to remain committed to a constructive and inclusive approach to constitutional development. Our responsibility as legislators is not only to reflect the present will of our constituents, but to safeguard the long-term constitutional order of the Republic of the Gambia. Honorable members, I thank you all for your participation in the debate. I will now put the question, honorable members. Be resolved that this August Assembly do stand adjourned until Tuesday, 8 July 2025 at 10 a.m. prompt. Those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. This assembly now stands adjourned until Tuesday, 8 July 2025 at 10 a.m.
Don't. So guys, we're finally done. The constitution is finally closed. The constitution is finally done. Finally done. Yeah, so Bali Parliament alwa je kan nyam ko dibitoli constitution me alon ko ka ho le tere ka boni me tambale so tembo me alon ka fa de never normal. Thank you so much, honorable. Yes. So members are going out now.
Thank you for job well done. It's a continuity. Continuity.
Not from the loop. I just from the loop. Never from the loop. Allah will never saw. Musomi ke ba ke. I about it. Allah ke na decision me ke ba. Ke na fanda ko ko ke. No, yes, whatever. No que kana mul dupa ka no bio ka yo bi
you are a center for but say you are not alone. How can you go like that? Yeah, I was alone. We
point you.
I was
We point you. I don't ban meje wala ko ma ñu wax ban mo boy defal ñu honorable honorable yes
ale mo la gabe ñu ñokol le
na wi taal bu la
on mo mo tegi ni be be ke fa ma ñu ko ñu ko ñu ko ñoo ko mi dañere we will have to discuss this
na fa ko te comme ay alman plus fa ko fa ko
yalla ñu ko
Wala, no, yes. So guys, finally we are done. Atata Ozono Kolole. So I'm right here with the minority caucus. So the minority leader is here, so we just want to have a few words with him. Ye diam kende balake bi Gambians were listening. Ela diamo was very interesting. Ye key points solema with facts and evidences. Moja abala jibero le nyintembeng. Ye menesoto be memfula Gambian call because Gambians were waiting for ila miro albesona wala because Gambian jama membe wulu nyintu ko nyimu barora teri ka fo kaytoleti but na jeko modo lamiro num fo albe lala barora teri ka fo kana but fele bi ale Gambian ko kama jamanyandi yemina so ngene fula Gambia ko lambe
ambe fula wala follow the Attorney General, Minister of Justice, à la conclusion ni ajibe ntela kumo abe mostly abe jindi wala kan.
Okay.
Wala posunu menti. Eco the draft constitution 2024 is not consultative. E ma ko meeting nan mankede. But Nico is not consultative wala mu. Mol kachata fewol menna hana foytol danta wala ba yawlel keje bang. Ni tare ye fansum fewol keje. And when you outnumber on that basis is not consultative. Meeting kata Abuja le, ole men kacha clause 16. You le kacha asabo ko menako disagreement on benbenuto. Nim political party disagreement sur about around 3 clauses. Akabo issues is clauses. Ani sajul solu about fula men ya lon ko ya isul soto wala. Inata na wol kacha Abuja iman kambe menna mem bambanta kono wala mori retroactive clause yindi president la time limit la isu yi brin nara jang e meeting danta o menke ila diamol tata wala ka hanimbi kaje ko e kambe so to wala diamul laban ko wentera karaba sen dango kalamta woto yen ñine foko yen ñi menu agree pour wolli ye safe kaje ko falindol men nyanta kalani 2020 wal yeke ndanda wal man na meeting ko den kalamda ko rek e nin draft nara fintinan mi alon ko falindol keta men siara I will still say ko falindol siara 100 mi yal ko kerege whether substantive number or not but falindol men kerege siara 100 and nin atun difference ben 16 ne ite tata alial fansum ko la faje Mol Safoko is not consultative, and we have every right Kafoko is not consultative. So ning anata ikobe was someone na molye doko menke what they are mol kola Kafoko falindul yenake. No lefoko, they are putting the cart before the horse. Jani mola o mirol bina, jani tolbo draft nyinkira. Ye muru molu ka mole mirol men di yo mirol yol keje, but the man wol ke itara ye fansu mirol keje. Mol narna koreke ko mirol deda e ko be wol dilan tolla ngawol keje intawol kenola men nyanta kala wol retit na fo jantul ka bilol samana jande e kanna bilol bay ndol lafta loi de dalal nim man laf loi de dal tan bilol sambalna bar kanna bilol samana jande kanna bilol bay kan nambay ko lay tandinna sa nin tol bi kanna bilol bi ko samano jay bi ka pasno constitutional mi aloko critical issue men beje asiata ntol suwal defenno ntol suwal passindino ni tol man sonje ngaful ko human rights center dam bay bunda tan saba wol yewol fo bay bunda klum beje iko min yalon ko ngafo ko progressive clauses nyol lamu ngawol be murundi men be 2020 nindol kon bol kon la ñillam progressive clause ngawol be murundi ñil be sonna walal so waytandi ko ndolte effort keno la at consideration stage gammenol laftam menna ko wala murgen tanola oto ninte men nola ntem fambulan nolo kono ñina mo esutui anu niajibe general li mejol ma fo gamben kol be malla fala de barin kam mem moyin kam menje mol ka lod la menta majority of the Gambians imam kontan in 2020 draft ñinna so ningata mola posuna mo walti mol lafta menna e ko people centered e fangoy contribution ke towards the constitutional menna e lafta wole na ningo wole na hanning ata falindul be kalaje executive manyana falindul kalanye mol fon la yendo propose la then ya propose falindul ke bar executive wole woke so nginatina people centered lafta wala barola ya deda because atelmo head of the executive the cabinet wala mol ka baro constitution then mol tay lafta wala then baro waranto executive constitution hanin total
mol mel yalon ko al nibe non député bu ko non jam andon 2020 draft ni me yalon ko gambion ko itata gambion ko be kam kabrin gambe jam anin gambe bantal mol mel yalon ko wolum député wol tun jam e be no atol fe jam ikita multi mel yalon ko wollele campaign yo keno kaje ko Gambian ko lo kawni fa bi wo mo kilulu naje wolle lo dibde bun ko la ko pour a barona la nim tere kafo ye kayto mendi la pour aller son wala yo ku ye nyaadil because na honde wul bile tungara me alongo it was almost a campaign manager at level non campaign manager kaje ko Gambian ko lo kawni pour kana tambi blado but bi o kalo ake manene naje fo ministre ka fo ko kala class mi lo modi ya mi ra nyum ko kono mu ño fere le nyum ko kono
yalo membe yo nga fa nyaman ñin 2020 di main recent mayor na 2020 rejecta kolon ka ko president la tam ñi ñanta commencer la wato men ñinde mu bunda fangoti meje 2020 reject ko president la first time ñi control ñanta commencer la wala den nga ba nyamma tan ñi tam ñi second time wolbe ka last time e malla fi ñinal bar sila ñin do de dara ñaminna e ka fam molle ko tam limit be jele ahankay tam limit be jele ba 2020 fan tam limit be jele tam limit mem be ñin donto waye safru akara ñaminna mo samda ko ñin 2 times ñi goda kontila anoda tam asilono wala nga gañu defana asilono wala mo samira wol ñam niage be sondi ñinna because of that ko do ko president la 2 times ala first time ñinda bula la wol kono bari ñun doya tande ko ñun tout tamte blala ala first time kon ko ni ñim bodeje abe another time kelal no bodeje ay another fanan time yinke ñine atine be lafirin ñin constitution ka ñim mili malal membe yen ku kilo ngalam de ala time 2020 ya bay wala o the same time 2024 il aftala wala
bari ko discussion o kedale kabin discussion o ñinke regarding the town limit ko ñi ne hatara for example itol barona la mol gida malman si ye façon kayto de la natra akata comme molla o kanlo kayto bi bete momi ko niwo samanam bi alwet sonnal bam falta sonna ila ma
na foko biri wo kacha men kida abuja wolle kayto men soronan about 16 clauses nyol aning about 2 sejul tambe men kono nga fa biro na National Assembly fana nga consultative meeting sodle with Dr. Chambers birin fana nga wota mfana nata ka wota ka agreement soto wo area la han ñi me yalam ka be bambanding ka fa president tam ñanta commence la wato menna nara two option soto option follow waya itandi ko wala mu tamu men tambita animbe tamol men kono wol be nyanta kontila doko hani tamo men tambita o dambal nyanta kontila den sabanyaw tamo men tambita o manyana kontila bani sabanyaw ko mbe tamo men kono wasi o damba si konti buran biringa jibe islam mol ye nyimbunda sabol belema bari jaman na tan ko silam pour ka consensus min soro nga bunda sama nyaw ngata mbe tamo men kono control si start wala o de nabi o nyaw for example ni nga nata be lola asilono yinkate mbe nyim men kono tan nuwo banta na nya nala asilono le ni ngata alaya tammindi asidanno wala nim mom muruno ka foko men tambita ngawo konti pour ka compromise sila men tambita ngawo bondige bari ñi membe je ngaw konti mi nga tara alaya so ay do soro ñaato nso fanal la faaje asidan wala compromise lati ndol be jikirine ko wala bidna num tanu ñi men agree la sila wala ta yol da but you know what itata ya put the other way sila tam ñi ñun tout temps sol be wo be konti la de fresh ni nga atra bina anula tamlong parando men fana me la kan wala yatinna ntol compromise ñi mparetal nu National Assembly nengatara nañi mirol wol nata compromise keno bar nañi mirol political party le postono ñi menta e mawota ndol fananga o postono menta membre political party sono la ko ñi kon e mo fananta ina mo isuti
sa ko ndako itolu ibe membe kundo baro ko
baro la tam dorong bawo ñin do yaay tande ko barola en tam fulo be to konto kono ñinat no yiri yara la ñin do noma amanje ku korenti de ha ñin dalilo la tina ya reject ad ñin dalilo la tina fa be sondi ngala
Sakona denu sai dul be ñu xamé kan ko baro ñu taka sanji mu wonke ya.
Sanji tam follow ñu kola.
Iko ta kontel.
Yes, every sanji mu net. Sanji tam flow sanji tam sanji mu. Ha. Ñina te be yiri yara la no mate be sonni ngala. E balanta la wala windo wala 2020 la wala. Ñin don ya
Thank you so much, Honorable. Mbadong Lening, Honorable Dawola Kachala word, inshallah. Be Akatala be Kachal Samala and Dipito Nyato the one. Honorable, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes. So, guys, we're done. But last time, the second side, Albania, I mean, Barola Kaitoni, ya file bitembo nunko ta fele mbese kam. Thank you so much. Alabaraka baga.
Nonsense, man.